everyone, I'm so sorry. I'm literally dead. On all levels except physical, I am dead. I'm sorry, I'm dead. I'm literally dead. I've died, and now I've gone to heaven. And here we are. So I've been working on something for quite a while now, and I like to see it as a little light that's shining into a little darkness that's hiding my heart currently. So here we go. Today, I will be discussing an artist who is the best Vocaloid producer, hands and feet down. Kikuo, the best Vocaloid producer. In fact, the greatest, best Vocaloid producer ever. Like, by fact, he's the best. He is the best. Kikuo makes such good music. It, in fact, makes me shiver and shake. It's freewheeling and sounds like a carnival and like these little sonic explosions, these emotional bursts of creativity that stream nearly every hallway and corridor and castle that this small, tiny, molecular-sized man creates with sounds. All right. Let's begin. Let's dive deep into this hell. This may take a bit. I have no idea how long this video is now, but my guess is it's like, I bet it's long. As you can see here, Kikuo has released many things over the year. Debatably, no debate. It's too much. He's make less music. Guy, don't do this to me. For convenience, I have divided his discography up into what I would call his core albums. These are divided into three series. Three series? Is it series? Is serial series? Series is both a singular and a plural form. When it has a singular sense of one set, it takes a singular verb. Even when series is followed by, of, and a plural noun, a series of lectures is scheduled. So it's just series. Alright. Well, of course it's series. 3 series, 3 catalogs, 3 volumes. So, to kind of simplify things, I have divided his discography into what I would call his core albums. These are divided into 3 series. Kikuo World, Kikuomiku, and Kikuo. So I'm going to contextualize Kikuo's artistic evolution to that point, what was kind of happening around Kikuo up to that point, before doing a deep dive into the album itself, giving context for it, and kind of explaining what I like and what I dislike about it through harsh, unnecessarily scathing critique. If any of these albums sound like your jam, then I'm going to be posting X-Fades into the description. What are X-Fades, you may ask? It's like a teaser for an album, to kind of let you know what you're getting yourself into. Kikuo has released some for most of the albums he's made. For the ones he hasn't, I'll post like a single or something. I have also conducted an interview with Kikuo. It was a translated text interview through Google Docs in real time. It was really, really cool. But that's enough context for the video. Let's get into the meat of it. The meat of the video. The meat. So Kikuo started posting his music online around 2005-ish. You know, that's just where you can start to pick up the trails for where his songs start appearing. He released a couple of songs, most of which are okay, a little bit bad. If I'm being honest, this little sample from 2005, before it got put onto Kikuomiku1 and remastered, it sounds awful. Truly one of the most dreadful pieces of music I've heard in a while. So it's only uphill for Kikuo from here. That being said, it's only 30 seconds long. It's just a snippet of like a full thing. It's the only version that exists of that original take, but it's, oh, gee, do not listen. Okay, no, sorry. Please listen. It was only in 2009 that his first album came out, Bell of the Dream. Honestly, I didn't even know it existed until like the Discord led me to it, and I kind of had to dig, and even then it didn't have that many views and stuff. A lot of these songs were like sketches. There's actually a couple tracks that feature little hooks and instrumentals that can be heard on Kikuo World, but that's about it. Honestly, it's not very interesting. I wouldn't even really call it an official album. It's just kind of a collection of tracks that he made. I mean, that's literally what an album is, I guess. But he doesn't have it on any of his social media or any of his sites or any of his Bandcamps. It's very unofficial. It's like that Will Toledo project or something. You know, not really. I wouldn't call that a car seat headrest album. I'd call that a album. But I guess it is under people's names. On September 13th of 2010, Kikuo uploaded his first song onto Nico Nico. This song is called Journal of My Forgotten Memories. He releases 4 other tracks from Kikuomiku1. Don't Look at Me, which was released in February of 2011, is actually his most popular track that he had released at that time. It's still his #1 song, actually, on Nico Nico, which is pretty wild if you consider how much music this man has made. But so, like, I was looking for where the audio file for Miku1 was, but inexplicably, I got this footage of me stopping and trying to restart the recording of it, and I find that really funny. So, I'm sorry if this next review is gonna sound a little bit worse. I promise you it'll get better. Thank you. Bye. On August 13th of 2011, Kikuo releases his first major album, Kikuomiku1. Now, Kikuomiku1 is the first entry of the Kikuomiku series, and this series pretty much involves Kikuo's music and Hatsune Miku's vocals. There can be other Vocaloid people doing the voices, but it's got to at least include Miku mostly. Miku's mostly in it. This album actually only came out 4 years after Hatsune Miku was released, and it's, well, let's just focus on the positives. The first track on this album is a teaser. This is something that Kikuo does on many of his albums. It's like a 20 to 30 second song, usually involving Miku just singing a little bit, little tune, some backing instrumentation that gives us a bit of a taste of where to expect from the rest of the album. Yeah, it's pretty good. This interlude track actually transitions pretty well into the next track, which is the first track that he released, Don't Look at Me That Way, which is awesome. Kikuo instantly makes a statement that he's not going to make Vocaloid that sounds like anyone else. He prioritizes a lush, lively sound with his music. He also adds his little digital quirks to the mix as well, which is always very him. Like, even from the beginning, this is such a Kikuo song, right? He has evolved in so many ways, yet fundamentally, I feel like what drove him to release this album is him starting to find what his voice was, what Kikuo as a musician was capable of and stood for sonically anyway. The way that he uses Vocaloid is actually pretty interesting. He uses Hatsune Miku's voice in a way that not other Vocaloid producers do. I find that a lot of Vocaloid producers use Vocaloid as like a vehicle for delivery of lyrics, necessarily, and not really like as an instrument. Kikuo treats Miku like a, just the same as anyone would treat like a trumpet or a violin or an instrument, I guess, and makes Miku fit very well into the track, right? The dynamics of Miku's voice and the rest of the tracks complement each other in a way that lets Kikuo get his message across perfectly. In the beginning of Don't Look at Me That Way, the track explodes into this, I don't know what you call this. It's not electronica, for sure. That's for sure. It's more like a waltz, like a Mario song, but with Hatsune Miku instead of some weird Italian man. The next song, Tengoku e Iko, or Let's Go to Heaven, for those who prefer pronouncing things correctly, it's a bop. It's a bop. And I will dance to this song until I die. Some moments of the second half of this album kind of drag a bit, if you were to ask me. It seems a bit repetitive. Getting through this album kind of becomes a bit of a slog, even though you'll have random moments like track number 5, which is a beautiful piano ballad sung by Miku, of course. this album isn't mixed with the fidelity, with the quality that Kikuo goes on to have and present on his later albums. The worst examples of this not so quality producing is probably on tracks 8 or track 10, Infinite Daft Punk, both of which are a bit weird and come off as a bit cheesy and headache-inducing, primarily considering where they are in the track list at that point. You know, it's not... it really just kind of puts a bit of a lull there, like a real blockage to get to the songs that I actually really want to listen to more than anything. Also, this is an open letter to Kikuo. Dear Kikuo, why do you sometimes do songs in English? Why? It doesn't make sense. I've got no problem with it. I just need to know, why are you doing this? Track 9, however, is pretty great. I like the build-up of this track. I love how it ramps up to the conclusion, but by the time we get to the end, it just lingers for a whole minute too long. It's very unfortunate. It runs for so long that the wonder and the novelty of the climax that that track has is kind of gone by the time we get to the end of it. It's like getting to Mount Everest and just hanging around for a bit too long, and you're like, oh, well, I guess we should go. Track 7 is a good song at its core, but the production and arrangement of the track just falls flat. It seems like Kikuo is aware of this, in fact, because he actually does this track again on Kikuomiku1, tries to revitalize it to its potential. It feels as though he almost realizes how good the songwriting is, and he wanted to give it another go. Kikuo, who is my favorite producer, doesn't deliver on the production front. Like, his mixes are interesting more than anything for a little bit, and the way that he's approaching this whole thing is very different and entertaining for sure, but the production choices that he makes are most of the time for the worse. The palette that he has for the tracks all kind of blend together in this homogeneous whole. What does shine is some of the songwriting. Para Para is never going to give me a headache. It is going to launch me into outer space. This song is a rager. The chorus is so catchy, and the instrumental rush that it gives you is nothing short of euphoric. I will destroy anyone who disagrees with me here. This album is well written, but one note stylistically. At best, it's freewheeling and shows a young, talented, new voice ready to kick my ass. But at its worst, it feels a bit like a bad Hatsune Miku lounge cover band, while all the creative diversions are fun. They really overstay their welcome here, and the flow is just not the best. It's fun. It's fine. I'm gonna give this a 6 out of 10. 6 out of 10. Hey guys, just wanted to thank you for watching, and yeah, this took me way too long to edit, but if you guys are interested in watching more, let me know. Also, check out the interview, which I linked below. That's most of the reason why I wanted to finish this project, was because I'm so proud of the interview that I really want people to be able to see it. So, yeah. Bye. Let me know if you want more.